Welcome to Fans of the Forge. To my right we have
Teresa.
To my left we have
It's Sean.
And you can call me Paleo Sober because I am on the paleo diet and Sober October is happening.
Oh boy.
Otherwise known as Chris. And we are here.
I thought it was the keto. It's paleo?
I do more paleo
I'm sorry.
because I like the fruit. Fruit doesn't go on keto. You're not supposed to have the sugar from fruit.
I heard you can do berries.
Yeah, berries are fine. I like blueberries.
Anything berry.
I don't. I like a banana and an apple too, though. So.
I heard you can't do banana
No, you're not supposed
or
to.
apple.
Not on keto.
No.
But that's why it's paleo. Paleo is just
Shit you eat
Keto,
in the
but
forest.
less bananas and apples?
like stuff
forest stuff.
non-processed things, and it's basically keto, but you just add fruit.
Okay.
Anyway,
Good luck with that.
good story. First things first. What you drinking? I'll start off. It's Sober October, and I'm drinking water. Hey,
Wow.
what are you
It's
drinking?
exciting.
Tonight I happen to be drinking cranberry lime seltzer just because that's what I want to drink.
Definitely more exciting than water. I have the Voodoo Ranger from New Belgium Atomic Pumpkin, and it's a special release. So maybe this isn't, I don't know how common this is around here, but
Well, I'll have to look for it so that when Sober October is over, I
Yeah.
can try some.
because
I
it's
think you'll like it.
brewed with cinnamon and habanero chili peppers, and it's pretty
It's
good.
more cinnamony and habanero-y than it is pumpkin-y.
Yeah.
Which I approve
That's
of.
good. It's good stuff.
I look forward to trying it at the end of this month.
Well, good luck. You got a lot of days to go.
He'll be
here.
fine.
I'll be fine.
28 days left?
Yep, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker. I usually am only drinking when I'm sitting here recording an episode or if I'm on a work trip,
Yeah. All right.
which I have work trip coming up.
Okay.
And we have our trip to New York coming up, which would have been a nice trip to be drinking on. Like,
Oh, when is that?
You can
The
be DD
17th.
Oh.
for Sean and Mitch.
well, we're going to take the train down, I think,
Oh.
but
Either way,
we
you
haven't
can
even
be-
worked out the details. Anyway,
Continuing.
we need to get moving
All
forward
right.
here. So we are on Forged in Fire Season 6, Episode 29, the Kung Fu Edition. Wata! And we had our 4 contestants. Burton Huruff, 14 years part-time experience. Monty Styron, 15 years part-time experience. Mike Wharton, 15 years part-time experience. And Colin Miller, 7 years part-time experience. I actually met Colin Miller
Oh, yeah?
at the Bladesmithing Symposium. Although I don't know if I actually talked to the guy. I think I saw him in passing and was standing around while he was talking in other people's with other people in conversation. And I was more like, I don't have any knives to show, so I'm just going to stand here and be kind of like silent. But I was there. I hung out
All right,
with him.
that's cool.
Kind of there. So anyway, 7 years.
Colin adjacent.
Sure, Colin adjacent. For round 1 of this episode, they had to make 3 throwing kunai knives made from WN steel. How do you want to do this? Should we take turns?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just continue with round 1 then. All must be within 1 ounce of each other. That's
Okay.
like the main
Yeah.
parameter here. They have to
That's
be
tight.
it's
isn't
very
it?
it's very
Yeah.
tight. They have to be almost identical. I mean, they're supposed to have 3 identical knives, and they all have to be within 1 ounce. So that's pretty tight. And my notes are going to be all over the place here because I have been half-assing it, which
Because you're sober.
was I
And you're wearing
sober?
sunglasses.
Was I sober when I took these notes?
You were,
Probably.
yeah.
They made a point. I think this was Doug that said Bruce Lee quenched his blades in wata.
Oh, man.
Is that supposed to be like water?
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Sorry.
But the thing, it doesn't make any sense.
Teresa
because
didn't get the joke.
Bruce Lee didn't make any swords, as far
Dog.
as I know. So, like,
Oh.
I mean, unless I'm wrong, who knows? Anyway, they're going about their stuff. Each guy has their own issues. I did notice there was a premonition for Monty at one point where one of the guys says, "Oh, his blades look long. He should definitely measure those."
Wow.
Therefore,
as they get to the judging, Burton's. Oh my God, can't even read my own
of
notes.
the 3, one of Burton's wasn't wide enough.
Right. Then Monty's were too long and thin. and didn't meet the parameters with the weight parameters, I believe.
Really just all over the place.
He was so he got the boot, and they moved into round 2.
Where they had to wrap handles and finish the blades in 2 hours.
There was no
There's
notes
no
for
notes
any
on
of
the
it.
actual round. We just get to testing,
Breeze right
where
through
they
it.
had to throw the knives at sheet metal targets. No major issues. Illuminated target throw. What do you mean by that?
That was the next test.
Oh, okay. So the first one, where they threw at the metal targets, no major issues. The second test, where they illuminated the target, Colin suffered a catastrophic fail because he hardened the whole blade and the handle broke.
Oh yeah, so like everybody, I think he was the last one to go, and then it was it his third one? I don't remember now, but
one of the three broke.
One of the three broke
catastrophic
when it
fail,
hit the target, and I was like, whoa, shit! And that was another situation where they had kind of a premonition where they said they made a point to comment on how he was heating up the entire knife to heat treat it when he should have just done the tip.
Yeah.
And then that ended up backfiring on him. But so Colin got the boot.
That was round 2.
That was round 2, and they moved into round 3.
The 9-ring broadsword.
So you didn't see this episode yet.
But I'll talk about it.
So
it's this big broadsword, right, with 9 rings on it, and they go doot 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 along the
What
spine.
do they do?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
You figured it out.
You know how I knew that? Because I caught the very end when I started watching the Genghis Khan episode.
There you go.
And I saw the final
Pretty cool
weapon.
looking sword, though.
It is pretty cool.
They
Yeah.
have the
it
rings
is.
in it, and weren't they? They had a purpose. They were decorative for like ceremonial things, but also like intimidation.
Yeah, they made noise, so like it was like a good,
Scare away ghosts.
Or your attacker,
Oh.
maybe.
What if I hear that? What do I? Oh.
Sounds like a key ring. Just like
But
a
they don't
janitor
have
walking
Is that
keys.
you, Dave, with the keys?
They don't have keys then. They don't know what that
What do they
sound
have?
is.
They have rings. They can't make keys.
I don't know.
Wait, we don't
When
even
was
know
this?
when the 9-ring broadsword was
We didn't write it
around.
down, but it was like way, way back when they didn't necessarily need a ton of keys. They might
Hold
have had
on.
a key for their house, but they didn't have a bunch of keys to be
What if
jangling.
they had a treasure chest?
Then they wouldn't be scared of this thing. It's for every other normal person who only had one key.
I feel like even 2 keys make noise. So maybe someone had 2 keys, for their prison cells and like the big door to
Who
cross
has
the
the
moat.
key to their own prison cell, Sean?
No, not the person in the cell, the guard.
But the guard's not scared of this sword. Everybody else is.
No, I think people are going to hear the guy walking around like, hey, hey, Joe, how's those keys?
But even then, they're still in jail. They're still not scared of the
No.
sword.
Why does the person have to be in prison?
To hear
It could just be like another guy just down the road that's like, oh, it's just keys from my buddy. But it's not. It's a sword. He doesn't know it yet. So why would he be scared of it if he just thinks it's keys?
Rebuttal?
No.
All right.
Let's just move forward.
So for testing, there is the pig carcass kill test. And Burton's blade broke on what should have been the last swing.
yeah, he had one more swing left and the thing broke.
And it broke at one of the ring holes.
Yeah, it's a high stress point right where those holes were.
And Mike had to survive 9 strikes, and he does. So congrats to Mike.
Yep. And that was good, interesting, because he actually cracked his blade when he was making it and then ended up grinding scallops into it to give it a shape that got rid of the cracks.
Yeah.
That he was like, I don't know if there's more.
Right.
So congrats, Mike, and congrats to Burton, Monty, and Colin for competing. And that was a good episode, the Kung Fu edition of Forged in Fire. Now,
A word from our sponsor?
yes. And we're back.
All right.
And so we move on to
Deathfish.
Deathfish, knife or death.
Any guesses as to why it's called Deathfish?
Because there's a killer fish, like one of those puffer fish that like can kill you.
I was thinking Jaws, but
Oh yeah, shark. That's a fish.
Yeah.
that can kill you. Someone dies on this episode.
oh my god.
I feel like it would have been bigger news.
You took the notes. I don't know.
Do you
I didn't see
remember
this
when
one.
did you used to watch Deadliest Catch?
Yeah.
Did you know like one of the main guys at one point in the later seasons died and they recorded it and put it out on the episode. Like he had like something go wrong while he was on a boat, and they rushed him in, and then he died like within a couple days. Phil, was his name Phil? Captain Phil?
Captain Phil. No, he. I don't know if he was on the boat when he was having some health issues. I know that, and then he passed away. I don't think he got off the boat like they, like he was out fishing. But
Blake Painter?
That's not him.
That's a
newer
more recent
one.
one.
Oh.
I didn't know another one had died. That's the guy, Captain Tony. That's right. I liked him. He was
Tony.
Died of a heart attack.
Isn't that what his name is? It says Tony Lara.
But that,
No, that's
the heart
not
attack
him.
Wouldn't have been as a result of anything.
It was Captain Phil that died, right?
So then look up Captain Phil.
Oh, Phil. Here it is. The death of Phil Harris. Yeah, it was Captain Phil.
I don't know why they put
That
put
I
this
remember
wrong.
this
It's
guy.
a wrong caption. That's
Captain Phil. Yeah, that's not.
Who the hell's Tony?
That guy.
That's
No,
not
not-
Tony.
That's not. That's Captain Phil. We're on the wrong show.
Wait.
What? What?
What is this? Is that Captain Phil? Because that's
Yeah,
that guy.
That's Captain
That's
Phil.
Captain Phil. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, then yes, it is Captain Phil.
I don't know who Tony Lara was. We're not going to talk about this anymore. I'm sure there are people that are maybe listening to this that have watched it
That are
and
angry at us
yelling
now.
at us.
You could always just edit that part out.
No, we gotta leave it in.
No.
All right, so Knife or Death season. Well, okay, seasons are weird. It's technically season 3, but when you look it up, it's like season 2, episode 11.
I think.
Yeah, because
Something
I
like
think
that.
what happened here was that
They filmed it all at once.
they filmed it all at once, and it was maybe going to be one season with 2 different grand champions that maybe were supposed to compete at the end or something.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think that was supposed to be the initial thing, but it didn't end up playing out that way. I think they changed it along the way.
Okay. So, in my notes, I'm doing by title, and this one's called Deathfish. There are 2 initial things to know before we even start with the people. One of them is that edge geometry seems to be a thing, and so many of the knives are not sharp. Almost all of them come through. Travis is like, I'd like it to be sharper, but it passes. So go on. All right, so our first contestant was Sarah Hanley. She had a custom-made machete chopper hybrid. And as she goes through Slice Twice, she got penalties on all of them.
Which
so
you
that's
remember, Slice
the
Twice
one where
is-
you have to cut, I think it's sugarcane or bamboo. I think it's sugarcane. You cut it, and then you have to cut it again before it comes down.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
That one sucks. And she did not do well. And then on Slasher, where they've got 3 different things you have to kind of cut through, it's PVC pipes and a plastic bottle and a box. She wasn't great on the plastic bottle or the box, which after watching like 3 of these recently, I've determined the plastic bottle is the worst. It's thick and it's weirdly shaped, and they wrap it in plastic.
It's wrapped in plastic. And so, like, out of the episodes that we've watched, I think we've seen maybe 2 people get through it.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So don't feel bad if you don't do well on the plastic bottle. It's okay. And then on Lifeline, where they only get one, they have to go through one strike through a chicken and then a fish and then like something else. This one was plastic tubing. She struck out on the plastic tubing. So chicken okay, fish okay, plastic tubing not okay.
Then we had Leon Anthony Jr., who had an antique kukri that was a 120-year-old knife.
Wow.
On Slice Twice, he actually only had 1 penalty. Pretty good. For Slasher, the plastic bottle and box gave frowny face. What does that mean?
That means that
Give me
they were
some
both
trouble.
not good.
They were both not good. Okay. For Ice Pick, he didn't cut the tubing in half. So that's been happening more in this particular season than it didn't happen in the first 2 seasons.
Where they didn't like make a big deal about it.
Like,
where you have to cut through the
breaks,
ice.
but the tube is still sticking up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So if you don't cut through the tube, it doesn't count. So he didn't cut the tube in half, Goldberg. And then he was winded by the time he got to Lifeline.
He's gassed.
He was gassed. And at that point, he had already been going for 6 minutes and 21
6
seconds.
minutes. That's a long time.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And then for Lifeline, he was taken down by the fish. Which, yeah, you don't see the fish taking people down very often anymore because a lot of people, after having
Figure out
seen
how to do it.
yeah, they figured it out. And then when that happened, he also got an injury on his left index finger from something. I don't recall what it was.
Basically, so like I'm guessing he was right-handed, probably swung and like caught his
Follow through.
finger on the follow through. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Moving on to Trent Chandler. He had a parang. And during Slice Twice, he had 4 penalties. For Slasher, couldn't get the bottle or the box. And for Lifeline, he got stopped by the fish as well.
Dang.
Maybe now we know why it's called Deathfish.
He died after not cutting the fish.
Yes.
Man.
Dewey Beck had a wakizashi from overseas Asian manufacturer. On Slice Twice, he had 3 penalties. Slasher made it through the plastic bottle and the box. Then I have a mention of timber, so something like notable happened on
There
timber.
was timber in this one.
Oh.
He cut it too high.
It's going
so, like,
down.
He dropped it in line, but the wood piece that he cut off was too short, so it didn't fall into the target.
Oh, yeah.
So that was sad.
Gotcha.
Ice Pick, he again cut it too high, so he didn't break the tube. And then Lifeline done the plastic tubing. So close.
And then we had Kat Lopez, who had a modified Sundong Bolo hybrid.
Oh.
And it was a custom made by a friend. And she had only had it for right?
She had 1 month of training.
Yeah, she had 1 month of training with that particular blade, which,
Okay.
I mean,
if you're training all month,
if you're going out and doing like a half hour to an hour each day of training with it, you could probably get pretty decent with it in that time.
Was it 1 month in training with the knife or just 1 month in training in general?
Oh,
I thought it was
that's
in general.
right. I think she
That's why
meant
I
it
was,
as
like,
I've
astounded.
been training for a month for this.
how'd you get on the show?
I don't know.
What's it take?
I don't
Oh,
know.
man.
Anyway, for Slice Twice, she had 4 penalties. For Slasher, 3 penalties. For Timber,
She cut it.
She cut it, but
But it
it
landed
landed outside of the area. For Ice Pick, did not cut the tube in half again. And then for Lifeline, once again, taken down by the fish.
Wow. Moving on, we had Joshua Campbell. He had a halfling made by Castile Armory. And for Slice Twice, he had 4 penalties. For Slasher, he did great on the bottle in 1 slice, and he kept getting stuck in the box. For Timber, he knocked it over the target zone. And
Power.
Ice Pick didn't cut all the way through. But for Lifeline, he made it through. And for Killshot, he made it through.
So he made it
He
all the way
made
to
it.
the
He's
end.
the only one to make it all the way
Yeah.
through. Josh is the only one to make it
So
all the way
he's
through
moving
Knife
on.
Fight, so he's moving on. And then Dewey made it to Lifeline Tube the fastest.
Nice.
So that's our 2 guys going to Dead Run.
Dead run.
Dewey goes first with the gauntlet. It's all good. He ran to the ball buster
Oh, that's
thing,
right,
so he
yeah.
got a penalty for running on the course of the knife. Ball buster itself, he got 3 penalties. Extinguisher, which is where you cut the bottle and you have to put the flame out.
Yeah.
He cut 3 of the 4 bottles, but he only put out 1 of the flames, so he only got credit for 1.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, because the water just
And
flies
Yeah.
everywhere.
didn't hit the sweet spot. Free fall, this guy's on point. You missed that one. The very next one.
Oh, yeah.
And then crash landing, he had 2 out of 4 penalties, trouble on the box to release the ball, and 11 penalties altogether.
And then for Joshua, for Gauntlet, he blew through it no problem. It was super easy. For Ball Buster, he lost balance and fell over while he was doing
yeah.
it. He fell onto the table like that.
I think it was more like in the stair area, not so much onto
Oh.
the table, but he just kind
As
of.
he was as he was walking up.
No, I think he was trying and just kind of fell sideways.
Oh,
Maybe I have to watch that part again.
anyway,
But he fell over.
for Extinguisher, it looked like maybe he had a bit of a bend in the blade at that point, but he cut all 4 bottles and had 2 penalties because he only put out 2 of the flames. For Free Fall, he had no penalties. And then for Fire and Ice, his blade broke on the ice.
Oh, man.
And so he got disqualified due to catastrophic blade failure, and Dewey wins.
Oh, wow.
And when they went to go talk to Dewey, of course, they have no idea what the other guys are doing. So he's like, "Hey, what's going on?" They're like, "Hey, you win."
Oh yeah, they like
Like they didn't go do the end thing where they talk about the penalties and the times or anything. They're just like, "You win." Good job.
And that was that episode of Knife or Death Fish. Congrats to everyone that competed on that episode and to Dewey for winning. And that's it for our wrap-ups for today.
All right.
Now,
what else?
Move on. Did I talk about these last time? I don't know if I talked about these.
I feel like you talked about them at some point.
Did
I talk about these?
Yeah.
I think so. But Chris made these. All them up.
Well, yeah, so I finished. When did I do these, though?
You did last time.
I did?
I think so.
I don't remember talking about these.
You did.
Anyway, these are my tongs. I made these tongs for some blades, and so I can do some blade quenching. And I actually have a turkey pan, right? Isn't that what we have?
A roaster, yeah.
A roaster pan that is now going to be my quenching pan.
Oh.
It was given to us as if we would be making Thanksgiving dinner. No.
You guys don't make
No,
we do not.
No.
We made a ham once.
Yeah,
when we first got married.
Yeah, we did do a Thanksgiving here once in our.
No, we did an Easter.
Easter here once in our kitchen upstairs.
That was it.
It was very tight.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went and I got some canola oil because I didn't feel like shelling out money for quench oil.
They're going to say cannolis. Say, where are they?
We have cereal treats upstairs.
Oh yeah, she made some Honey Nut Cheerio and Cheerio
mix,
like treats, like Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I got canola oil, and I have blades that need to be quenched, and I have a heat treating schedule for 1084 steel. So my next goal is to actually heat treat some of these guys and get them ready for final grinding and handles and that sort of thing.
Cool.
So that's down the line, but hopefully coming up sooner rather than later. That's all I've done recently, as I've been traveling for work again, and so that's all I got. Anybody else got something to share for Tales from Infinite Forge?
So I've been finishing up kind of in work projects, scrap yarn, something or other. Oh, I have an Instagram now. That's the thing.
Yes, follow Teresa, Thea.creates 2019.
Yep, so that's the thing. I made a mermaid tail for a newborn that should be arriving soon, if not already. Got to tell me.
I haven't heard anything about
yet.
the arrival of the baby yet, but there should be a baby. One of our friends is having a baby soon, so look forward to meeting the baby and giving her a mermaid tail.
Yep. And then I've been collecting. There's this particular berry that grows in our area in September, late September, that it makes this really nice fuchsia dye. It's very poisonous to people.
Oh.
So when I cook it, I need to acquire a pan that's solely used for this thing because we can't cook in it afterwards.
And do you got to cook it outside?
I can cook it inside with the ventilation on.
Okay.
If I could cook it outside, that'd be great, but it can be cooked inside. We just can't use the pan or any other utensils for eating later.
In the meantime, we have a package in our freezer that says "Do not eat."
Yeah, because I started this project last year.
All in the name of some dye.
Hey,
Yep.
I got some plants.
And what about you, Sean? Anything to share?
I put a hitch on the Jeep
Oh, really?
a couple weekends ago. It was a horrible experience. It took me all day. It took me 6 hours to do. But the directions say it should only take half an hour. But I'm working on a 22-year-old vehicle with lots of rust, so it was somewhat difficult. It took a long time. It took a long time.
What did you have to do? Did you have to cut out metal or something?
No. It was supposed to be very simple. It's an easy kit. Comes with all the hardware, and the way it works is they give you this fishing wire that you fish through some holes that already exist in the frame on the rear of the vehicle. So you fish it through, and then there's carriage bolts they give you, and you thread those on. You put actually a square plate that they give you, and you pull it back through, and then the carriage bolts come through. You unthread the wire, so now you have carriage bolts hanging down. So driver's side was no problem. The passenger side had pre-threaded nuts that were in the frame that were all like super rusty.
Oh.
So like that was one of the things that was said, you might have pre-threaded nuts or you use a carriage bolt. So I had half and half, and the rusty, nuts were just crazy. I couldn't tap them. They were so shot. It was impossible. So I had to take the bumper off, which took probably an hour because there's 2 bolts holding it on. So I had to reach into the bumper to get at these rusty nuts, and I only had this much room with the ratchet, so I'm just doing this and banging my arm, and it was so stupid, and it took me forever because it was just rusty, so I couldn't do it by hand. I had to use a ratchet, so I'm just doing this.
Yeah.
And finally got it off, and then there was this, it turned out there was like a metal strip that had these nuts welded onto it that was inside the frame, and it wouldn't come out. So it was like in there, like either welded or bolted on to inside of the frame somehow. So it couldn't come out, which I thought it could, but it wasn't happening. But I can kind of lift it up so I could try to get carriage bolts in there. So I was doing that. I got that, and then mounted the hitch, and then I had to take it down again because there's an exhaust hanger that bolts up, so I had it so it was hitched and then that, but that wasn't going to work right because it was kind of bent, so I had to drop it, put this back on. Anyway, it went up and down a few times, and it was just my hands were like done after that, and it took all day long.
Oof.
So it was tough. But now I have a hitch on a Jeep.
You give me a trailer or something?
I was looking. I just want to put a bike rack.
Oh.
It's one of those bike racks that just go on there. Like
that's for a bike rack.
So supposedly Charlotte had one, so we went to look for it, and it doesn't exist. So she's not sure if she gave it away to one of her friends. So now I'm on Craigslist looking for a bike rack that goes in a receiver hitch.
Oh. Okay.
And it's so ridiculous. But I have a hitch now. So
there you go.
if I have a trailer, we can trailer stuff around.
There you go.
So if we go on any trips, we can haul some junk around.
Or you can just take my car that came with a hitch.
Well, listen, I mean, if I went through all this trouble, I damn sure I'm going to use this thing somehow.
Oh boy, that sounds like an ordeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. It just took me all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Worst ways to spend a day.
Yeah.
it's true. Yeah, and that's it for our Tales for Infinite Forge, or from Infinite Forge. And one more little segment here. The Gram Scan.
Gram scan.
First up, again, Teresa's got
I have one.
an Instagram
All right.
now. So go check her out. She posted a picture of one of the quilts that...
The scrap yarn blanket that
Yep.
I made. Yeah.
It's multicolor, very nice. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about was a video that I saw yesterday, put out there by Colin Sage of Hippohead Forge. At
Pretty
first I see the video and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm like looking at him like,
crouching down. I'm like,
crouching
I
down.
just
It's like,
scrolled past it. I was like, I don't know.
he's got a wig on, and I'm like, what is
So
this?
you
guy
showed
doing?
me, you're like, this is kind of funny. And then you continued to watch. What were we even watching? I think we were watching Knife or Death, and I was taking notes.
Yep.
And he just busts out laughing.
Because when I realized what it was, I realized just how perfect it was, because he was doing a Neil Kamimura blade test impression. So he takes a piece of wood, he chops a piece of wood, he takes a number of like tomatoes and drops it on the blade, a pineapple, and then chops the pineapple in half.
And a bag of sugar.
Yeah, bag of
drops
sugar. And the whole time he's got the long black hair like Neil Kamimura, but is obviously very obvious wig, and he's just
Flowing
doing
locks.
he's
doing his mannerisms as well. He's just doing the and keeping a straight face for the whole thing, and it was very good. It was very good. I did see Neil Kamimura saw that and posted about it, and the one thing he had to say is, "I don't wear jorts." So go check out that video by Colin Sage. It was very good. It was very good. But yeah, that's all I had for the Gram Scan. Anybody else see anything interesting on Instagram lately?
I could look for something.
mean, I saw a thing, but again, I'm new to Instagram, so I don't actually remember the person who posted it, but they're like little leaves that are crocheted leaves.
Crocheted leaves?
Yeah.
Pizza. Oh, there's Spicy Mike. He's chopping something. That's pretty good.
What? My lost bath
Oh my God.
What is that?
Oh my God.
So, Grape Juice Boys, if you're not following Grape Juice Boys, there's a lot of funny content, sometimes a little over,
it's a meme account.
Yeah. And so it's a picture of a toaster, and it says, well, the caption says, Bath and Body Works did not have to go this hard. And on the side of the toaster is my last bath bomb. So that's the last bath bomb you'll ever put in a tub.
That's dark.
Yeah.
But that's Grape Juice Boys for you. I love that account. They're pretty good.
I guess is it a repost if you...
Well, I guess it was originally posted by Gary from Teen Mom.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
All right.
So the crochet leaves were from the Yarn and Charms. That's what it was.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, that's it. That's the gram scan. Do we have anything else to talk about? Anything new to mention?
No.
All right.
Well, you turned your egg into a light.
Oh,
Kind
yeah.
of.
So I messed around with the Auschwitz egg that Zach from Forge and Feathers had sent, and I have this Arduino set that I've been screwing around with, and it came with all these LEDs, and so I reset it up to do color changing LEDs,
Yep.
and I stuck them in the hole, and wouldn't you know it, this thing lights up when you put an LED in there. This whole thing glows, and it's pretty cool. So I need to find a more permanent solution for that. I was thinking one of those tea lights that have the little fake flames and just shove it in the hole and turn it on and then see if it glows that way. That's a way easier way of doing it without having to program something. But
They make like thin LED lights or like on a thin wire. You can probably just shove those all in there, and it comes with like a battery pack and just turn it on.
I think I have those like right
twinkle
over
lights.
You
there.
can get them at like Job Lot for $1.
Yeah. I'll do something like that. That'd be cool. A
Yeah.
nice little set piece. I like it. This thing seems pretty heavy duty. I'm surprised at how strong this egg feels. Like you have to if you're
Come on,
gonna
Hulk, you're going to break it.
where's my ring? I just want to I want to have one.
You just want to break it.
I want to break an egg.
Yeah.
I want one of these so I can break it open and then just dump that yolk out into a pan and make a giant omelet. That's what I want. Anyway, that's the episode. Thanks everybody for watching. Remember to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like our videos. All that good stuff. And continue watching, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for following, and we'll talk to you next time.
See you.
Thanks.
This beer is really spicy.
Is it really hitting you?
It's getting me like in the gut,
Oh, no.
and, like the chest. I mean, I'm drinking a pepper over here.
Like a new decoration up there.
The skull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap Halloween decoration. Probably put that
Hey, what's up with the antlers?
Didn't one of our kids walk out with it on their head, and the guy at Walmart was like, "Hey, that's a nice Halloween costume."
What do you mean what's up with the antlers?
I mean,
Yeah, what's wrong?
typically it seems like a cow skull, but if it's supposed to be a deer skull, then
Oh, no. I don't
Wait,
know.
what?
like
I think it's supposed to be just a creepy skull. I don't
oh, okay.
What's wrong with it being a deer skull?
I don't imagine that to be a deer skull when I look
Why
at
not?
it. Like if you take the antlers away, it looks like cow.
No,
But then yeah, to me it does.
I think it looks like deer.
You think it looks like a deer head without the antlers?
Yes.
Deer skull. It looks like a deer skull.
I'm used
Yep.
to seeing a deer skull. I'm used to looking at a cow skull.
Guess not, City Ball.
Come up with
Boy.
cow skull.
Cow skull.
Yeah. Very
Okay,
similar.
I
They
can
are
see what
very
you mean.
similar. Yeah, they are very similar, except the antlers are the horns rather than the
So
antlers.
Yeah.
that's pretty much the difference. So then, therefore, this is definitely a deer skull.
Yeah.
I think that just means a deer is a cow, but with funky different hair.
Mm.
No.
Yep, it all makes sense.
Yeah, it's just the hair that's different. You don't really milk a deer.
Oh no.
I mean, technically, you could. I don't know. I'd want.
Probably
I've
can,
never
yeah.
ever heard of deer milk. That
You-
sounds so gross.
You can milk any mammal.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
And this is also another one of those things, but you can, but you shouldn't.
Correct.
We had this conversation about whether or not you could eat ballistics gel.
I maintain that you can, but you shouldn't.
I looked it up. It's just pretty much regular gelatin. It's
gelatin.
non-toxic from what I saw, so it's probably fine.
So I'm right.
Is it just like, well, it's probably more, it's not like Jell-O. It's just a little more firm probably than.
Right. It's a special type of gelatin,
Yeah.
but it's not going to poison you at least.
If they threw some like cherry flavor in it, I might give it a bite.